Coming up, we've got a story about yourselves, ourselves, and what we're doing right now. And Dunk's got the story of a guy who says his victim was a werewolf. Honestly. You hit subscribe and I'll cue the music. So it turns out that social media and video networks in America for this survey have now become the main source of news, overtaking traditional TV channels and news websites in a new research study. More than half, it was 54% of people get news from networks like Facebook, X, and YouTube, overtaking TV and news sites and apps. Now, this was Reuters research thing as well. So, quote here, the rise of social media and personality-based news is not unique to the United States, but changes seem to be happening here faster and with more impact than in other countries. This makes me sick to my stomach, but Joe Rogan was the most widely seen personality, with almost a quarter of the population saying they come across news or commentary from him in the past week. The report
news.
No, that's just awful. No wonder MAGA rides so high on their own, the smell of their own. Well, you know what I'm gonna. So, the Institute also highlighted a trend for some politicians to give their time to sympathetic online hosts rather than mainstream interviewers. Wow, we haven't seen that before ever, have we? It said populist politicians around the world are increasingly able to bypass traditional journalism in favor of friendly partisan media, personalities, and influencers who often get special access but rarely, if ever, ask difficult questions, with many implicated in spreading false narratives or worse. So despite their popularity, online influencers and personalities were named as a major source of false or misleading information by almost half the people in this same study. So y'all know they're liars, but you just listen to them anyway? The report also stated that the use of X for news is increasing in many markets. The biggest uplift being in the United States of America over the last 24 or 12 months. It added that since Elon took over, many more right-leaning people, notably young men, have flocked to the network while some progressive audience have left. And one thing that's also noticed is rival networks like Threads, Blue Sky, and Mastodon are making little to no impact globally at the moment because their reach is just at 2%. And it's just not enough. So a couple other key findings here. TikTok is the fastest growing social and video network used by 17% of the people around the world, up 4 percentage points just in the last year. AI chatbots to get the news is on the rise. Oh, dear Lord. And is twice as popular among the under 25s. Wow, I'm not shocked. Most people think AI will make the news less transparent, accurate, and trustworthy. And all generations still prize the trusted brands with a track record for accuracy, you know, the major cornerstone news sources, even though they don't seem to use them that often anymore. So, lately, when we do this exact thing with yourselves, where we go to the cornerstone places, grab some news, and give you a personalized take on it, more often than not, we don't bother even naming the site that we're getting it from. And if more people are going to turn to sources like ours, then we got to at least give credit to those places better and more often, because if they disappear, we won't have a lot to say, will we? So...
I think it's absolutely disgusting that people are moving away to moving to social media to get all their news stories, and we'll be discussing that further on the 42 Show channel. So make sure you're subscribed.
Exactly. So, what lunacy have you for us today?
We take you to Salt Lake City, the city of madness and darkness. Yeah, it sounds a bit like an opening act to a Hammer horror spoof, but a Utah man is behind bars after allegedly attacking someone in broad daylight with a wooden stake, claiming that they were a werewolf. It was broad daylight. You know, werewolves don't come out in daylight.
Freaks come out at night.
Mostly. Yeah. Jose Manuel Perez, 24, was arrested on Saturday and charged with aggravated robbery following a bizarre incident that began over lunch and ended with a homemade monster hunting weapon and stolen property.
What?
I know it's all right. Mix of badass going on there. According to Salt Lake City Police, Perez and the victim were an unnamed business when he suddenly placed the person in a chokehold, pulled out a wooden stake, and embedded with a nail, and declared, "You are a werewolf. I'm going to pierce your heart." Dun, 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 dun. The victim attempted to flee multiple times, but was repeatedly restrained until finally managing to escape. Perez allegedly ran off with their backpack, which police later recovered during his arrest. Officers also found pockets full of rocks on Perez, who claimed he needed them for self-defense in case the victim attacked again. Yeah, wow. In an impressive display of courtroom optimism, Perez admitted to stealing the backpack, but argued that since the police had already returned it to the victim, the robbery charge shouldn't apply.
What?
Yeah, I stole it, but you gave it back, so it doesn't count anymore.
Yeah. Just consider it a loan.
Oh my God! Wait, is Connery being held without bail? And there's no word yet on whether the full moon played any role in this story.
Oh my Lord, that's hilarious. I thought it was a werewolf.
Steal a backpack.
What a moron.
Oh dear.
Oh, so if you're new here, hit subscribe. We'd appreciate that. And if you're a werewolf, then just play nice.
Yeah, if you think you're turning into a werewolf, leave a comment in the comment section.
Oh, these daywalkers, they're getting right out of hand. See you soon. Never heard of a silver bull? Oh, I shouldn't give them ideas.